So, the DCEU is currently shooting the Flash movie, and also The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has just turned up at ATL Atlanta to shoot the Black Adam movie. So, it's looking pretty cool in terms of shooting movies. So, there's an article I came across which is pretty interesting because it lines up with some things I've heard, but also contradicts some other things that I've heard. So, I will leave the article down below if I remember. So, yo, what is good, YouTube? Warstu here. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss the videos. Check us out on Instagram at Warstu if you want to see the face behind the voice. Also, check us out on Twitter, WarstuG. So, there's an article going around with the headline, Warner Bros. Is turning the DCEU multiverse into a cheap plot twist or plot device, which it's kind of interesting because if you watch the Flash TV show, you would know that in one of the seasons, they did a multiverse storyline already, like really early on. And last season on The Flash, getting Ezra Miller, The Flash, to cameo role with Grant Gustin, The Flash, tells us the multiverse already exists. And also, Zack Snyder Justice League already tackled the multiverse, slowing down time, reversing time, and everything that we're going to actually potentially maybe get in Andy Muschietti, Barbara Muschietti, and Walter Hamada's Flash movie. So this multiverse concept in the Flash movie, without reading the article, though I have already read it, and when you read it, it is interesting. DC movies and TV shows are becoming a multiverse, has many ways, but Warner Bros. Recent decisions on the DCEU are threatening to undo all of it. I fully agree with this because they're using it as a cheap plot device to get away and basically try to squash the Snyderverse and try to erase the Snyderverse. No, I'm not saying this is gonna happen. I'm saying this is rumors. This is what some people have been told. This is what some plot leaks are saying. This is why Supergirl is in it. But let's just break down what this article says. And then I'll go over what I think, not what I know, what I think. So it goes on to say, unfortunately, a number of recent decisions and comments made in press by Warner Media executives have started, which threatens to undo the goodwill they've built up introducing the multiverse in the first place. The latter point is especially given how much of the concept of the multiverse has bailed out the DCU a number of times, decisions, particularly a 2017 variation of Justice League, that came close to ending. In comments made in advance of the release of the Snyder Cut, in an interview with Warner Bros. CEO Ann Cernoff, the studio's stance on the multiverse has begun to divulge into vague generalities about a plan they have yet to provide any real clarity on. Do you remember that massive freaking fluff piece when Ann Cernoff came out and started spouting her mouth on a bunch of topics she knows absolutely nothing about? When she said, yeah, the David Icke cut, not coming. No one asked about it. So it's interesting. With the excitement of the future DCEU at an all-time high, the multiverse is key tool in unshackling filmmakers, getting DC films out of the rut they've fallen into with Warner Bros. It's actually because of Warner Bros. Getting involved. It's not actually the filmmakers. It's actually Warner Brothers trying to get involved, trying to marvelize everything. Latest decisions that studios could end up killing their excitement by turning the multiverse into little more than a plot device that simply cuts the legs out from under everything it was intended to be built upon. The multiverse is a reaction to broken DCEU continuity. As with much of the DCEU current affairs, the multiverse is a byproduct of the theatrical release of the Justice League, arriving in theaters as the stitched together collage of reshoots with a portion of Snyder's footage. The fallout from the film theatrically failure had a devastating impact on the entire franchise. Ben Affleck soon departed, but he didn't really, just stepped away for a bit. Only Gal and Jason Momoa were spared. Pretty much true. Affleck had earlier stepped down from the role of directing the Batman with Matt Reeves, subsequently stepping into the driver's seat. And from there, everything continued to change. Robert Pattinson will resume the title of the Batman, but not really, because this is Earth 2 This is what it's all. The multiverse is already a mess, and it's not even started. So Robert Pattinson's Batman is Earth 2. The Joker, Joaquin Phoenix, is a standalone. But Robert Pattinson's universe is standalone as well. Yeah, it's getting messy already. With the film itself serving connective ties to DC continuity, Todd Phillips' Joker also stood on its own two feet with a standalone movie. I'm paraphrasing even though I'm reading it. I'm not reading all of it. Well, post-Justice League movies like Aquaman, Birds of Prey reference events in the DCEU vaguely. Despite them films being well received, Aquaman and Joker both surpassing 1 billion worldwide after Justice League DCEU was essentially drifted along with concerns over continuity, storytelling, roadmap being mostly ambiguous. It was only through the introduction of the multiverse that it began to evolve into something new. They're going to ruin the multiverse before the multiverse storyline's already started. Then it goes on to say the Arrowverse and Snyder Cut have already established the multiverse, which they have. We said earlier in the video, the storyline CW Crisis on Infinite Earth last season, which saw Brandon Ruth become Superman. Ezra Miller crossed over with Grant Grant Gustin, and that's when the DCEU Flash realized there's other Flashes out there, and it was a really cool moment. Furthermore, DCEU Multiverse is more offhanded by the following: long push by fans. Release of the theatrical cut, the Snyder Cut Justice League, was released on HBO Max's movie reference both apocalypse existing in other universes, along with Steppenwolf using the term multiverse in reference to the scope of Darkseid's plan. All of existence shall be mine. The movie also showed Barry Allen utilizing time-traveling speed, the Speed Force, elements in his ability through time travel between Crisis and Infinite Earth, and the Snyder Cut, DC was given free reign like no other before. So audiences are excited about potential multiverse because Ben Affleck's coming back, but he's the main DCU Batman. Then we've got Michael Keaton's Batman, which if you actually watch the Crisis and Infinite Earth crossover, Michael Keaton isn't from Earth 1 or Earth 2, he's from a completely different Earth, and it was that long ago that I can't even remember when it was, but there was loads of Superman on that. We had Tyler Hoechlin Superman, we had Brandon Routh Superman, Tom Welling Superman, although Tom Welling was never actually Superman, he was a variation of Superman there. So it seems like it's just a cheap plot device. Since launching the multiverse in 2020, Warner Bros. Seemed to be undercutting the entire notion, but prior to and since the release of the Snyder Cut, they have reportedly shut down the notion of finishing up Snyder's Part 5 that movie. No, they haven't. That's going on behind the scenes, and this is what makes this even more complicated. Declaring David Ayer's original cut Suicide Squad would not release, even though they've literally already finished it. Sorry, Ann Cernoff. I've got sources. I know what I'm on about. And then they discontinued the New Gods Entrenched movies, which makes no sense, really. Really doesn't make any sense. Also highlighting how many in-development DC movies have yet to be realized or utilized. Everything from Nightwing to Plastic Man. They're actually making a Plastic Man movie. Or are they? Furthermore, rumors have emerged that Warner Bros. Real goal here with the multiverse is to phase out Zack Snyder, Snyderverse, and Affleck's Batman. This certainly puzzles a lot of people because of the popularity of social media over 1.5 million tweets. Yeah, it literally makes no sense. Furthermore, the removal of Ray Fisher from the Flash movie also makes no sense because he was a pinnacle part of every single script. The real problem seems to be with Warner Bros. Utilizing the multiverse in a way that is both counterintuitive and counterproductive by bringing the multiverse into play through Crisis on Infinite Earth. DC films and movie TV reboot were replaced with the parallel realities existing alongside each other, with filmmakers involved not having much more freedom. The possibility of crossovers is always on the table. The whole point is that no one DC property now has to overshadow the other one. Yet Warner Bros. Comments on the Snyder Cut being a cul-de-sac, some perplexities, finger pointing that are rising towards it as the reason of the New Gods cancellation. The studio is picking and choosing among different corners of the DC multiverse, the very opposite of what the entire fabric of Infinite Earth implies. So basically they're trying to bury the Snyder Cut, although secretly they're actually still doing Snyderverse stuff which will come to fruition in the future. Yeah, I do agree with this article. They are using the Flash storyline, and it should be Flashpoint. It should just be a story about the Reverse Flash killing Barry Allen's mother, and Barry being in his parallel universe where his mother's alive, but only he has to let Ebar Thorne kill his mother again, realistically. But it is interesting. They are filming the Flash in the UK at the moment. In fact, they're filming it really close to where I live as well, to be honest, which is pretty cool. So yeah, is it going to be a plot device? Yes. Do most people understand the multiverse? No. I made a comment about Warner Bros. Not releasing Jon Stewart's variation in the Snyder Cut because they shot it. And I was like, yeah, there's a multiverse. And someone in the comment was like, you don't understand the multiverse. The multiverse just doesn't mean different variations of the same character. Okay, I understand that, but there's so many ways they could have got around that. So Jeff Johns got involved with Walter Hamada, took his side and was like, no, you can't use Jon Stewart because that's going to counterintuitive with my Jon Stewart that I don't even know if we confirmed if we're using Jon Stewart yet. But on the HBO Max series, you can't do it because that's got nothing to do with Zack Snyder's movie anyway. So they used Martian Manhunter instead, and we got Kilowog, who essentially died. And there was a variation of Green Lantern, but that was nothing to do with Zack. So guys, let me know. Do you agree that Warner Bros. Is using the Flash movie multiverse as a cheap plot device? I really think they are using it as a cheap plot device. Now, I'm a massive Flash fan. The YouTube channel started on the Flash series 2 or 3, I can't remember. Huge Flash fan, but I don't want them to use a Flash movie to essentially have it as a cheap plot device so they can go off on their own agenda. Robert Pattinson's Batman is on Earth 2, cool. Okay, that's separate from Earth 1. The same with the Black Superman. That's supposed to be Earth 2 as well. So realistically, is it going to bury the Snyderverse? It can't really, because Shazam 2 is after Shazam 1, which implies it has ties. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson movie has ties to Shazam. He also wants ties to Superman, Henry Cavill, DCEU, which again implies it can't bury the Snyderverse. So ultimately, guys, Warner Bros. Are trying to do the exact opposite to what everyone wants them to do, or what they're actually secretly doing behind the scenes from what I was was told currently, yeah, it makes no sense why they can't just have the Snyderverse in the multiverse and do whatever DC Films is trying to do at the moment. So guys, let me know. Is it a cheap plot device? Do they even understand multiverse? Does Anne Sernoff really want to connect everything? Because when she came in, she was like, yeah, I want to connect the TV shows, the video games, the movies all together. And by not letting everything connect properly and concurrently, you're not doing that at all, are they? They're trying to marvelize everything, but it's not really hard to connect everything. Not everything has to be connected to everything. Yet you bang $1 billion with Joker, pretty good movie. Aquaman, average movie, still bangs $1 billion, yet Wonder Woman 1984 can't. That says a lot. So, guys, let me know what you think about the latest and greatest DCEU news. This is really a fan fiction kind of opinion piece based on rumors that are floating around. Now, I'm not going into detail or realistically saying anything that I know, but this counteracts and contradicts a lot of things that I hear. But Warner Bros. Do the opposite, or do the opposite start off with, then they realize they're wrong and change their mind. You know how when I told you guys the Snyder Cut was coming, and people were like, no, it's not coming, it's not oh, right, but then it came, right? So even if they do try and use the multiverse as a cheap plot device, ultimately the Snyderverse will be restored because of their incompetence in a roundabout way. So always, guys, check it out on Instagram at Warstu, Twitter, WarstuGN. I'll catch ya in another video very soon. Catch ya later.